Well, good evening, everybody. As you know, we've been building a house for quite some time. Building it a little bit at a time because our other house burnt, and so we done what we could with the insurance. And our house is pretty small, the actual house part. It's only one bedroom, one bath, and then living room and kitchen. So it's not going to be a big house, but in the RV that we've been staying in, if you've watched my past videos, we put a PrecisionTemp water heater in it, and absolutely, my wife really, she fell in love with it. It's so amazing. Compared to the little tank that come in it, you can take a shower if you've done it quick, and you'd run out of hot water. Well, the PrecisionTemp we put in it eliminated that. You can take a shower as long as you want, super hot water, as much as you want. It's been absolutely problem free. We've had it in there probably 2 years now, and the greatest thing we've ever done to our RV was definitely the PrecisionTemp water heater. So whenever we decided to build the house and was talking about hot water, my wife said she definitely wanted a PrecisionTemp in here. So we end up getting the PrecisionTemp for here too. Now this is basically, it's about the same thing. It goes in the RV. The difference is this is made for cabins, tiny houses, you know, a small house, not made for big houses, but this thing should be wonderful. It's easy to install. I've already got my house plumbed with the hot water, cold water. I got a bracket or a mount right here to mount it on that I built. It should be just perfect for what we're needing. We're going to be close. This is actually in the bathroom, so we're going to be close to the shower, close to the kitchen sink, and should be a good location to mount it. We'll just put it here, then we'll build basically a shelf set up over it, cabinet, and this will be inside it. So this is the PrecisionTemp 550 NSP, which is basically the same unit. It just don't have your door on it, and it also has an exhaust for the hot air to go outside of your house. So I have to make a hole in my wall to run the exhaust out and get rid of the hot air. And then it's also, you know, you supply 12 volt to it to power it up, and then of course your cold water in and your hot water out. Really simple setup. I'll scoot up closer so I can kind of show you this. So basically what I was showing you was, this is a 550 NSP EC. It does take 12 volt DC, and that's basically to power it up. So we need 12 volts, at least 3 amps. So that won't be no problem at all. I actually have an RV power supply mounted in here, and then I'll just wire it to that. And then of course on the other side I'll show you the connections. And on this side we have the propane inlet right here. So we'll connect our propane line on here. It's actually already has the fitting for the line. And then here we'll have our cold water in and our hot water out. It's really simple. Use a shark bite to connect this, shark bite to connect this, and then down here we have the 12 volt DC and the ground wire that we connect to the power supply right there. The good part about it is that PrecisionTemp does supply 2 of these shark bites to fit on here, one for the hot out, one for the cold in. Then I added this piece of PEX and this shark bite adapter so I can go to PVC, and this connects me from my copper to the PEX with the shark bite to PVC. For the hot water, this is going to be the provided shark bite, then the PEX adapter to PVC. This is a PVC to CPVC for my hot water outline. So the CPVC is my hot water out, PVC is my cold water in. Alright, on the bottom of the unit we have a vent here, so we need to keep this clear. We don't want to obstruct this with nothing so we can get air. This is our exhaust out, and then this right here will be our pop-off valve in case of high pressure. So what you can do is you can let this run on the floor, but it wouldn't be wise. I want to take this, put in a PVC adapter and elbow it, and then I'll run this outside, so if it does pop off ever, the one in my camper never has, or if you want to drain it by using that, you can run it outside. The exhaust pipe that comes with it is right here. You can see it's flared to fit right on this, and then it will go outside. The unit also comes with 2 stainless steel brackets that you can use to mount. You can see these mounting spots right here. You use the supplied bolts, bolt these brackets on, then you have a place to actually screw this down, which I'll be using on my mount that I made to hold this unit. So I'll bolt these on, set it on there, bolt it up after I get everything connected. One of the first things you'll want to do is to put your brackets on. You can either put them this direction or this direction, one on each side, depending on the application, which way you'll use them. Mine actually will be in this direction right here because of the way I made my mount. So I take the 1/4-inch bolts provided, tighten these down, and do the bottom of the same. Alright, I wanted to show you my mount before I go any further. This may be a little overkill, but I wanted it solid because I'm going to have a shelf above it, so I want it to be solid. And what I've done is just made it out 2x6s with a couple 45s run down on both sides, and then screwed to the wall. These are 16-inch centers, and then you can see I've actually started cutting the foam out right there to make a hole for the exhaust. And what I got was a piece of this insulated pipe, and this will make it to where this is a lot larger diameter than the exhaust pipe coming out, but with this in here, it'll keep the heat from the exhaust off of my foam. So I didn't want to get the foam too hot and melting. Make sure you have plenty of clearance between your exhaust and any wood materials or foam, anything like that. So that's what this is for. And that should mount just on here just nicely. We'll get it set up, get it mounted on here, and then all hooked up. Okay, sorry about the lighting, guys, but as you know, when you're building a house, ain't got everything wired and everything, lights in here yet, so I do have a light shining on it, but it's not, hopefully it's adequate for the video. But you can see, now that I have it sitting on here, I have my places to put the screws in to hold this unit down, and then the back side here, I have room to connect my hot and cold water lines and connect my gas line. You can see my cold water inlet. I do have a shut off on it, which you don't need one on the hot water, because if you shut off the cold, you're going to turn off the hot as soon as you turn that off. So I'll run that down, connect it with the little couplings I made. I'm not going to actually bolt the unit down yet until I get everything in place. That way if I need to adjust, I can move it back, front, or side to side until I get the connections made. Okay, now I can show you I have everything set up. I'm pretty much ready to install. So what I done, I took those adapters that I made. You can see that I connected the one for the cold water. We'll plug on to the bottom right here. It says cold in. Then I have the one for the hot water right here. And these two are the shark bites that come with it, like I was talking about. So this will go on the hot water, which is the top. It says hot out. So these will plug right on here. This is my propane. And I have a shut-off valve here. I also have a trap here on my pipe. So when I run it in, any moisture or anything should fall down the trap. And then I got the hose that connects right on here. And I'll tighten that up, have propane to it. You don't have to, but I went ahead and mounted a receptacle box, and I'll put a cover on this. My wires will go in here. These are pretty clear labeled. It says green is minus, so that's your ground wire. My wires here, black is my ground, white is my hot. And then on the PrecisionTemp, the red is a 12 volt positive, so that's 12 volt DC, and you need a power supply to run it, which I have a power supply in here, just like the same kind of power supply that would go in an RV or a camper that I'm using to run this, and it's connected to these two wires. So when I connect my power, my gas, my water in and out, do my exhaust underneath, and we'll be ready to go. Alright, this is kind of a hard angle to do. This is actually, if I go right here, you can see there's the PrecisionTemp water heater. I'm going up underneath the underside, and on the underside, of course, we have our exhaust and we'll scoot it over here where it's supposed to be. And what we do with the exhaust is you have the pipe that's going to slide up over this, and then it's going to go out through your wall. Some applications, if you have a wood floor, you may want to go out through the floor, but we're going out through the wall on this one because there's a concrete floor. So what I want to do is slide my pipe on here, my exhaust pipe, and then I made it to where it lines up with this hole in the foam right here. Then of course on my foam I have this insulated piece I'm going to run it through to keep the heat down off the foam from the pipe. So we're going to take the pipe and slide it up on here. Okay, you can see I have this pipe slid up on the bottom, and then we'll put a couple screws in here, self-tapping screws or self-drilling. The ones that would be best would be self-drill screws. Put a couple of them that will hold this up on here. Just drill them through both layers, and that will hold it tight. Then over here on the wall, this will go out center of my hole that I made in the foam, and then of course my insulated pipe will go around it to keep the heat down. So I need to drill the hole through the wall now. Okay, now what I want to do on the wall is dead center of where I marked it. I want to make an indicator hole. So on the outside I'll know where to make my 4-inch diameter hole. Okay, now we'll go on the outside. Okay, now this is the pilot hole that I drilled on the inside, just to give me an indication of where I'm at. So what I want to do now is mark this. Now if you had a hole saw this big a diameter, you could actually take a hole saw and cut it out if you had a good hole saw, which I don't. So I'm going to actually use a jigsaw. So what I'm going to do is center this on here, but I don't want to cut into the rib. I'd rather be on the flat. Okay, so I want to place that on there, and I'll mark my hole out with a Sharpie. Give me a idea where I want the hole to be. Like so. You see I was a little bit off, but the main thing is I don't want to be cutting into this rib on the metal. I want to keep the outlet on the flat part. Just hole big enough to put my jigsaw in. Now with the jigsaw you can get a metal cutting blade or a wood cutting blade. Because I'm cutting this fine metal tin, I want to use a fine teeth blade. This is 14 teeth per inch, so it ought to do okay cutting this tin out. Okay, now we have a hole cut out. I can run my pipe through there, and as I said, on this pipe, when it goes through, I'm going to have it on a down angle. Actually, the other side goes in. This goes straight. I want to have this at a down angle. Okay, now I have it in there. You can see the down angle. I'll need to seal around the outside of this and then install my screen later. Okay, you can see my hole going out the side here. I have it at a slight angle, so my unit sets to the side a little bit, and the pipe will angle right out that hole. And as long as I'm center of that, I should be insulated good. Just keep it away from any wood or anything. You don't want to get it too hot. Same thing if you run it down to the floor of your cabin, or if you're going to do it to the wall, you could do it like this. Alright, I have it turned up where you can see the bottom of it because this is your pop-off valve. I'm going to put a PVC pipe from here out, coming down and then out the wall. So I've got some pipe dope. I want to put on my, this is a 1/2 inch connector. My CPVC pipe that I have is 3/4 inch. So this is a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch CPVC adapter. I want to thread this in here, tighten it down, it won't leak. And it's not like this may never happen, but there is a chance that it would, and if it does, I don't want to take a chance of getting water in the floor. Snug it down, don't want to tighten it so tight that you break it. And then after I get this unit mounted, then I'll know where to come out, how far down to go outside. In the same location, pretty close to where the exhaust pipe will be going out. Okay, as you can see here, this is my, for the relief valve, the CPVC I've got running down here and a 90 and going out through the wall. So we'll go outside and look at here's my drain for the pressure relief valve. And what I'm going to do on this, I want to put a screen over this too. You see I've got it siliconed around where I drilled the hole, run it through the wall. Same way with this. I got it all nice and siliconed. And I want to put a screen over this. It might not have to, but that's just going to keep the critters out of your house. With it open, and if you're not running it for a while, critters could go up in there, birds could build a nest in there, wasps or anything. So we want to go ahead and make sure these are screened off. So here in a few days, hopefully I'll get that done. And another step toward finishing our little house. Okay, you can also see here that on the bottom of the exhaust pipe, I did put some red high temp silicone, which I got a little messy. I also put a self-drill screw on the back side and the front side to hold it up on there so it won't never go nowhere. And the high temp silicone is what you need so it don't burn and it will last a long time. Keep it sealed. Okay, now I'm on the back side of it. I'm to the point of where I can make my connections for my water and my gas. So you want to make sure that your gas off, make sure that your 12 volt DC is turned off while you're doing all this. So I want to connect my bottom one first, which is my cold water in. And they come with these little plastic caps that you got to remove right there. And all there is to the shark bite is just sliding it on. Extremely simple to use shark bites. Now we'll push this to the side so we can get the hot water on there, like so. Now I'll take my propane line here, and it will connect right here. Hopefully you can see all this in the video. I wanted to connect this before I get this unit mounted. That way everything's lined up, then I can screw it down to where it should be. Now my electrical connection. And as I said, don't forget, this is not 110. This is 12 volt DC that you would need to connect to this to operate it on. And inside my box here, I will be just using wire nuts to connect these two wires together. Your green is your ground, and the red off of the unit is your 12 volt DC. And we got it connected. Shove my wires back in here. Now I can actually install a blank cover on this box. Alright, so I got my gas hooked up, the propane, I got the hot and cold water hooked up, and I got the 12 volt DC hooked up. So now I just need to screw this unit down so it'll stay in place. And I got a couple screws that are made for outdoors so they won't rust. And it takes 2 on each side. Two on this side. It's solid now. Okay, I lowered the camera down so you can see the green light right here flashing. Means we have power to it. So I need to turn the ball valve on once water starts traveling through it. Because the gas is on and the 12 volt DC is on, it should ignite and start heating the water just by filling the pipes, because the pipes are new and they're empty. And then as soon as it fills them, It's going to shut off. If I turn on the hot water, we'll have hot water. Okay, we have the water turned on. I'll go over there and turn on the hot water and see if she ignites. Okay, I can hear it, that it did ignite. The water's going through it. I can hear it ignite, so we're up and running. We'll go over and check and make sure we have hot water. Okay, I got the wife here. We're going to turn on the hot water for the first time. See if we have hot water.
It's hot.
It's already hot.
It's hot.
Awesome. So
It's hot.
this is the first time we've had it on. We've had cold water for a while. This is a utility sink right now.
Hot water to do dishes with. Yay!
So now we got hot water, which is going to be great. Then when we get the shower hooked up, we'll have hot water for the shower.
Feel that.
And, whoa, yeah, that is hot. Wow. Oh yeah, it's going to get real hot.
It's awesome.
It's already starting to get really hot.
Yeah, it's getting hot.
Sorry the lighting's not too good in here, but wow, yeah, that's hot. So we have super hot water. How cool is that?
Right,
awesome,
excited.
guys. So everything's done. We're all hooked up. Okay, how cool is that? It's all hooked up, bolted down, cold water's on. We have hot water at the faucet, super hot water. So the cool part is now we don't have to have a hot water tank in here that's heating all the time when we're not using hot water. Okay, so when you turn on the hot water over there at the faucet or your shower or whatever you're taking, when you turn it on, as soon as it starts traveling through here, it detects the water movement. It automatically will ignite, light the gas, heat your water, and you have instant hot water for as long as you need to run it, as long as you don't run out of gas. Exactly the same. And she turned it on again. I can hear it, and it's kicking on here. There it goes. It lit. You probably can't hear it on there, but it actually lit the flame, and we got it running over there. Got hot water. So how cool is that? Now she can do dishes with hot water instead of cold all the time. So this is going to be really nice.
Making my life easier.
Yeah, making her life easier and mine too. So we get the shower installed, which will actually be right there, and so we'll have hot water ready for when we get it installed. It's so nice to have this. We have one in the RV, now we have one in here. Thanks to PrecisionTemp for this, because these are great units. I will post a link to this below. Check them out on PrecisionTemp.com and get you one. If you want instant hot water, long lasting, super quality, PrecisionTemp's the way to go. So I've proved that on my RV, and now we're going to prove it in the little house that we got. Thank y'all for watching. Click the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Right on.